Good morning all, awesome choice of all. ICCC, awesome, creative chhajo.
Daydreaming, imagine theory garcha tara reality ma. Innovative to chale world change garna sakcha.
Successful cha ta त्यसैले choice ma ICCC नै छ उसको.
Your trusted partner for studies in Canada, ICCC.
Hello and namaste. Welcome to Saichik Month's television program on TV Today. This is Ramesh Lamisane, your host for the show. Today we are talking with Mr. Vineet Sharma, Director of Sales B2B South Asia at Edvoy. We'll be talking about Edvoy, its role in global education and different aspects of study abroad. Now, please join me in welcoming him. Mr. Vineet, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you for having me here.
To kick off, kindly give us an overview of Edvoy. Also, mention its recruitment process.
Okay. So, Edvoy is a tech-enabled AI-driven platform. We are Manchester-based. We are an 18-year-old organization, right? And what one of the USPs that Edvoy has is we simplify everything in the student recruitment journey. So if starting from a student processing and applying for an application, the process is very simple, whether it is for a recruitment partner or a channel partner or universities or a student. So we have simplified the entire ecosystem of a student recruitment journey, right? Whether you talk about application processing, you talk about funds for the students, you talk about loans for the students, everything is covered in the entire ecosystem of Edvoy portal. Yeah.
So how many universities are you partnered with and across which destinations?
So currently we partnered with 750 plus universities, and which are spread across all the major destinations. UK is there. UK is one of our strongest portfolio. We have 100 plus partnerships in UK. We have close to 130 plus partnerships in US. 40 odd partnerships in Canada. Europe is there. We have some schools in UAE. We're covering Ireland, and in Europe also we're covering almost all the major destinations. So 750 institutions and all the major destinations are covered on those universities.
Okay, how does Edvoy ensure ethical recruitment process?
So I'll give you a very good note on this. So our entire compliance team that we have, right? We have a 30 plus compliance team members who are based in the Chennai office, which is our kind of head office or regional office for India, right? Most of those compliance officers, 80 to 90% of the compliance officers that we have, they either come from British Council or UKVI background, right? Our head of compliance is from UKVI background again.
Okay.
Carries an experience of 18 to 20 years of kind of being involved in the compliance process. So our compliance is very stringent, and we are also AIRC certified, which ensures that all the recruitment practices that we have are adhered to the guidelines and very transparent to all the partners, students and the universities that we work with.
So how many agents does Edvoy work with globally and in Nepal?
Globally, we work with close to 5,000 partners. South Asia is one of our major regions. In Nepal, we have close to 400 plus partners. I recently met during an event with NECA. After that event, we were able to onboard 40 more partners in last 2 days during my recent trip.
Okay.
So 400 were already there, 400 plus partners. And in last 2-3 days, we've recruited 35 more partners.
This is about Nepal. What about the global data?
Global 5,000 partners is what we are working with. If I talk about Nepal, 400, like I said, India is close to 1,900, Bangladesh would be close to 600, Sri Lanka would be close to 90 odd partners, Africa again 500, 600 plus partners. So we have a global network and a vast majority of players working with us across the globe. We have presence in 41 countries where our team members are present. They work remotely. Some of the offices set up are there. We source students from close to 91 countries.
Okay, that's great.
We are spread across globally quite effectively in that sense.
How is the study abroad market right now? Has there been any significant changes after the pandemic?
So study abroad market, I mean, there have always been up and down because of all the policy changes in Canada, some of the policy changes in Australia, and there have been slight shifts in the market. If I talk about post-pandemic era, one of the major shifts that we have seen is that the student psyche has changed. Earlier, the student who were looking for going to study abroad, they were not, I would say the homework done from them was slightly less, and they used to be dependent a lot on consultants and the counselors. Nowadays, because of the huge penetration penetration during COVID, the internet penetration in the remote villages, in the remote areas across all the countries, I think they have got access to a lot of information. So the student now comes very well prepared. They do a lot of homework before they are applying for any study abroad courses or any study abroad programs. Another shift that has been that students have become very focused on what are the career prospects or career opportunities post completion of their programs. So they're looking for options like the program or the course that can help them achieve their career goals, that gives them clarity from day one, that if I go to an XYZ program, or let's say I go to engineering program, what are the career outcomes I'm looking for. So whichever destination, whichever college will offer them a better career prospect based on the programs, that is what the students are focusing on nowadays.
That means they have been more aware after the pandemic.
They are much more aware, and they are looking to generate return on investments now, right? They want better return on investments, and that's why they're choosing schools which helps them getting prepared for their job interviews, which helps them getting prepared for the career prospects, which will take them a step forward in the near future.
Okay, so what are the biggest challenges that you see faced by the students in Nepal and from South Asia, other students, while applying to study abroad?
So students nowadays are looking for a lot of clarity, right? Earlier, where it was just applying for an application and going to a college to study, now the student needs end-to-end support. From day one, the application processing has to be top-notch, right? Post that, if the student is getting accommodation or not, the consultants or providers like us have to ensure that the students are getting right accommodation at the right places. So students nowadays need a lot of support, a lot of clarity, right? This is where the roles of counselors, the consultants, the agent consultants that we have, and providers like us becomes much more important, right? Because we are helping somebody shaping their career. We cannot just give them random options to study. So once the student comes to us, it becomes our responsibility that we offer them courses based on what their career prospects are, based on what their career goals are, right? So choosing the right program is first helping them take a first step towards their career goals. So it becomes very important for us to give them right options and clarity in the initial process.
Which countries and programs are most popular nowadays among the students?
In terms of countries, if I talk about, UK has always, last few years, UK has been on top in terms of it generating interest from the students. And one of the reasons would be the easy visa processes, the easy visa policies, and the visa success rate has been good for UK in the last few years. But in terms of overall, if I talk about, I think US also generates a huge demand. Australia generates demand, although the sitting capacity available now is fairly less compared to what it was earlier. But Australia also generates a huge demand. Canada is generating decent demand for specific programs where the student can still go for post-study work permit, and again, if it is meeting their career prospects, they definitely want to go for such programs.
So Edvoy being a tech-driven platform, how does technology help in this process?
If I give you a very recent example, a recent analysis that we did, right, with the use of technology and with the use of AI and the processes and the portal and the Genie, the shortlisting tool, the course finder tool that we have, right, our quality of applications have increased by close to 40%. The quality applications coming, the quality of applications have increased by 40%.
That means they are able to shortlist themselves?
I would say yes, Genie does help them. The Edvoy Genie portal does help partners, students, universities in so many ways. The student or consultants can shortlist programs on their own.
They can even evaluate their file themselves.
They can evaluate their files, they can generate PDF, they can share the shortlisting with the students, with the parents, or with their B2B agents if that is the case in such cases. So in terms of technology helping students, I think everything is becoming very seamless, very streamlined. Plus, it's just not technology, it's also the manual intervention and manual connection or the human connection that they have with our teams, which kind of combines both of the positives, the human connection, the human touch in the application processing, plus the AI and the tech-driven platform that we have, which helps us generate outcomes in a much shortened span of time rather than working through Excels or PDFs and shortlisting student profiles through the university website. So you've got all the information at one place, and it's very easy to use. It has streamlined the entire process for applying for any school.
Okay, if you observe the thought of Nepalese students and parents, they are trusting technology quite less. So how does Edvoy ensure they get reliable and personalized guidance despite being the digital approach?
So, like I said, the human intervention is still there.
Okay.
Right. The human connection will never fade away. Right. How much technology you can involve, whatever AI, whatever tech you can bring in, the human touch, the human connection has always to be there. Right. When you're talking to parents, when you're talking to the students, we always ensure that the student or the parents, when they need our support, we are available for them virtually, or we are happy to visit and meet them and kind of guide and counsel students as and when they want. Right. So human intervention is still there. Right, but with the tech, with the AI, with the portal and the platform that we have, whatever we used to do maybe in 30-40 minutes, we can sum it up and come and get a right outcome within a span of 2 to 5 minutes. Right, that's where the advantage lies of human touch plus AI plus tech driven platform that we have.
Mr. Vineet, in this context, if students and parents can work from your platform by themselves, then I think the role of education consultancies can be minimized. So how does Edvoy work with the local education consultancies in Nepal?
So like I said, we work very closely with all the partners. We have 400 plus partners, right? Currently, we are not recruiting direct students from the Nepal market.
Yeah, I got that, but isn't their role minimized here? If students can choose from their own, from the platform, why do they need
but
the
the
local
student doesn't know how to take care of the entire application process.
Okay.
The student doesn't know what sort of documents to be prepared, what sort of SOP to be written. The student doesn't know if they have to write a letter of recommendation or get a letter of recommendation, how to get that done. The student is not aware of the visa processes. So that's where the role of consultant becomes very important, right? The consultant will always play a very important role in the entire student cycle, right? Because the student, he's a young kid. He's a young kid coming out of school, 16, she coming out of school, 16, 17 years old, right? They're still young kids, right? They need a lot of support, they need a lot of guidance, they need a lot of mentorship from our end, from the consultant and from the counselors working there. So the role of the consultants still stays. The consultant will never fade away, right? Because they are the ones who are helping them process their applications. They are the ones who are helping them shortlist the right program, right course based on the experience of 20-30 years that they've been working within the ecosystem.
Okay, so you mentioned you have more than 400 agents here in Nepal, right? Who are working with you.
Yeah.
So partnering with Edvoy, how does these consultancies benefit from Edvoy?
First, they get access to the entire portfolio that we have, which is 750 institutions.
Okay.
Right. Secondly, they get access to our CRM, the AI-driven tech platform that I'm talking about, which minimizes a little bit of manual intervention, plus it saves a lot of time for them. So if you go to if a student goes for any counseling right now, right, they have to spend at least 1-2 hours to select the right program and get the right program in hand before they leave to their home with the right programs in hand. But with the use of the CRM, with the Genie platform, the portal that we have, that thing can be done within 5 minutes. The entire shortlisting can be done within 5 minutes and shared with the student, right? Plus, all the universities that we work very closely with them. A lot of consultants here in Nepal or across the globe, they do not have direct access to the universities. So when they sign up or when they start working with partners or providers like us, we give them access to those universities. All the information that comes to the partner, to the student, is the first-hand information that we receive from the institution, right?
So this is what keeps Edvoy different from the traditional recruitment process?
Absolutely.
Working with Edvoy, educational consultancies, they may feel easier because of this platform and all, right? So what do you want to say to these consultancies who are not associated with Edvoy right now?
They're missing out on a lot of things if they are not associated right now. See, I met close to the event that we both also met there, right? The NECA event. I met close to 50 partners that day, right? Out of those 50 partners, 40 of them are convinced that they want to work with us. These are 40 new partners that I'm talking about.
That means they are convinced that they are missing a golden opportunity.
They're convinced because I and one of my team member who was traveling with me, we both were able to give them the idea of what it is like to work with Edvoy, how easy the process is, right? How easy the onboarding process is, how easy it is for them and for their counselors to shortlist programs, how easy it is to process an application. Plus, when we share good relationship with the universities, there are times where we can provide offer letters within a very short or a very small turnaround time compared to some other providers or compared to some other programs.
So this was for consultants. What advice do you want to give to parents and students who are planning for overseas education?
One thing that I would really like to say is that do not. There is a lot of uncertainty in the market.
Okay.
There are times when there is a lot of negative talk about certain destinations. I would urge all the parents. I would request and also suggest parents and students to not believe on everything that they hear on social media sites or internet. Right. The consultants sitting in the local region, they do have a thorough understanding of what is the right program for them, what is the right destination for them. It is always good before concluding or before coming to a final conclusion. It is always good to go out, talk to your consultants, understand what is the right, what is the correct information, what are the right facts, which is the right destination for them currently, and then believe and then decide where to go and what to do.
Okay, but if we go through the point that you mentioned just now, many students and parents in Nepal, they complain that because of this consultancy, the misinformation that this consultancy provided me, I was cheated. My child is problematized.
Right.
There is such condition. So what do you want to say to them? Every time the consultancy,
Very good question.
the local agent is not fair, you know.
Yeah.
Every time they are not fair.
Yeah.
There is lots of misinformation. They give false information and so on.
See, this is how Edvoy started.
Okay.
If I give you a bit of brief story on what kind of triggered or what kind of motivated Sadiq Basha, our CEO and founder, to kind of start Edvoy. Sadiq was from Chennai. He wanted to go for study abroad. He was missold a university or missold an institution.
Okay.
Right. He wanted to go to a different place A. He was sent to place B. Right. And then he had to go through all the he had to run on the ground. When he reached there, he realized, he has been given a different university which he did not want to go to, or a different location. Right. That's when he realized that the role of the right guidance for the students and parents is very important. Right. And that's where the idea of Edvoy came in.
Okay.
Edvoy used to be known as IEC Abroad earlier.
Yeah.
Right. That was the actual name was, but we changed it to Edvoy 5-6 years ago. Right. So when you're talking about shortlisting or giving programs to a student, right, I would emphasize again on Genie, right? I have been talking about Genie a lot, the shortlisting tool that we have. I'll emphasize on it again. With Genie, whatever information you put, whatever filters you want to use, the information that you receive is the correct facts and correct programs with correct requisites that comes to the student.
Okay.
Right. So if you're doing shortlisting, if you're selecting programs through Genie, you can never missell it to any student.
Okay.
Because you're giving them the right information, the right courses based on their academic background, based on their IELTS score and whatever the background has been for the student.
Yeah, I'm not blaming all the local agents, but what students complain is, I was going to this institution, but the consultancy convinced me to go to this. They are not sending on students' interest, but they are sending to which institution they have. That's the problem.
Right.
That means Edvoy is solving this problem as well.
We are solving. Plus, in this case, a student also, I would suggest them to do a little bit of homework. I mean, it's good to trust your consultant. It's good to trust everybody around you. But I would still suggest them to do a little bit of homework based on what their career goals are, and then go out to the consultant based on the homework they have done, based on the notes, the pointers that they have. Then go out to the consultant and look for the program that you are actually interested in, rather than believing everything that the consultant.
Okay, many universities and study abroad platforms, they are focused more on taking large number of students rather than making sure that they succeed after their study.
Right.
So how does Edvoy ensure the solution of this problem?
That's where our compliance plays a very important role. For us, it has always been quality over quantity. Right. We have been working in this market for a good amount of time. Like I said, we are an 18-year-old organization. We have been doing B2B for a good number of years. We have never focused on just generating quantity and just filling up the bulk applications. We have never done that, right? For us, quality is by far the most important virtue when we are looking for an application. That's where our compliance team roles becomes very important. Whatever comes to us goes through a stringent compliance process. If the student doesn't meet the requirements, if we feel the documents and everything is not correct, we just ask the student to drop their applications. When I say student, I ask the consultants to drop the application of the student or to apply it somewhere else, because we cannot help them, right? So we have always focused only on quality and not quantity.
Mr. Vineet, if this point is valid, can you assure me that the students that they go from Edvoy, they are successful? after the completion of this of their study?
So see, we need to understand, Edvoy plays a role between the consultant and the university.
Yeah, you're bridging the gap.
We are kind of the bridge between consultants and the university.
Okay.
Right? The 100% onus or the complete onus for a student to get into a right program is still a lot dependent on the consultants.
I mean to say that the universities, your educational partners who you are working with,
Yeah.
are they meeting the enough standard?
Absolutely. We like I said, we work with 750 plus partners, right? If I talk about UK, we work with all the top universities that we have, right? Whether you talk about modern universities or talk about Russell Group, we have the entire portfolio with us, right? And wherever we feel that something might not work up for the student in a particular institution, we ourselves will come and suggest our consultant that at this point of time, I think choosing institution A would be a better option than choosing institution B,
Okay.
based on the job opportunities available there, based on the support that they will get from the university in terms of employment fairs and all those things, based upon the mentorship and the guidance they'll get throughout their course of 3 years, 4 years, or 2 years in masters or 1 year in UK in masters. So that is what we definitely assure. Right? If there are any issues with the university, or if we see there is not enough job opportunities available or enough accommodation available in a particular region, we ourselves will go and give this information to our consultants that at this point choosing option 1 or option A would be much better than choosing option B.
That means Edvoy is ready to help students even after visa.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
With so many students leaving Nepal for abroad study,
Yeah.
the country is facing the lack of young talent. Do you think Edvoy is also adding to this problem?
I don't think so, honestly. Right? In such cases, my suggestion would be for students especially to go for programs which can really help them to come back and serve the community better here.
Okay.
Right? And a lot of students come back. It's not 100% of the students that goes for abroad study. It's not like they stay there and never come back. Right? But what as consultants, as providers, what we can do is help them look for the programs, help them go for the courses where once they learn, once they understand what the course is all about, and once they come back to their native country, to their home country, they're able to help communities, they're able to build communities and able to serve communities in a much better way, right? So it has to be more and another way of doing this is local domestic institutions partnering with abroad, partnering with schools abroad and universities abroad for pathways, for articulation, which kind of prepares their student, or they can study 2 years here and then complete their studies there, which prepares their students. And once the student comes back, they come back with a lot cultural exposure because of the global exposure that they have had, which definitely helps them understand what can be done to serve the community, to serve the society better.
Mr. Vineet, this point made me even more confused. Some time ago you were mentioning that we choose students, we send students where there is lots of PSW opportunity,
Yeah.
after study opportunity. That means you're trying to settle students there, no? And you say that they can return back to the country and solve that.
But not everybody wants to stay back.
Okay.
For somebody who wants to stay back, there is ample support available for them to stay back.
Okay.
For somebody who doesn't want to stay back, I suggest them to choose the right program, so when they can come back, they can help build the community here.
That means Edvoy's support is available to both those who want to return to their country and serve their land, and
We are here to serve students. We are
okay.
here to serve students. We are here to serve our consultants.
Okay.
Right.
If Nepal government makes stricter rules for platforms like Edvoy,
Yeah.
do you think it will be difficult for Edvoy to work in Nepal?
Honestly, I don't think so. Like I said, we work with very strict, we adhere to guidelines and policies. If there is any such changes which comes up in the near future, we would be the first one to take a step, go to the government and understand how can we work much more closer with the policies, right? So even if something like this comes up, we will ensure that we are working as per the guidelines and policies of a particular country, of a particular region. So to just give you an example, we are present across 41 countries, right? Not everywhere you will have the same policies and the same rules.
Yeah.
We recently we are planning to open up our office in China. We recently got a license to run our office and operations in China, right? So all the government, all the offices that we have opened up, all the remote staff or the team members that we have all across the globe, we ensure that we do adhere to all the guidelines and the policies or the government policies or the education policies in those regions. So we always ensure that.
Lastly, what message do you want to give to students, parents, or even local agents who are working in this abroad study sector?
So I'll start with students first, students and parents first. Students and parents have to ensure to do a bit of homework before they are choosing any program or any country to study, right? Secondly, they should look for options which helps them move towards the right direction in terms of what the career they are choosing or what career goals do they have.
Okay.
Right? So look for opportunities which can help you build careers. Go for programs that can help you build careers. So programs like STEM programs, healthcare, science, engineering, these are the programs which are hugely in demand, right? And especially from Nepal also, if we see, there are a lot of students going for such programs. So choose programs which helps you grow in your career, which helps you moving in the right direction in your career. For the consultants, my only advice is whatever options we give to the students, they should align with what the student is actually looking for.
That's great.
We are helping to shape somebody's career, and it's not a joke. We should not missell anything to a student or to their parents, because parents and students, especially parents, they're putting in their hard-earned money. In some cases, the entire money that they have saved, the entire generation, the money that is saved, they're putting that money for their child's education, so he can in the future kind of help the family to grow, right? So in such cases, my advice is to choose the right option for the student and give them the right options and what they actually want, and give them right career guidance.
Mr. Vineet, it was wonderful talking to you in the program today. Thank you so much for the valuable time and insightful conversation.
Pleasure talking to you, Ramesh. It was lovely talking, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dear audience, that was Mr. Vineet Sharma. With this, we have come to the end of today's conversation. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Good morning all, awesome choice of all. ICCC, awesome, courageous छ जो एडभेन्चर्स मन पराउँछ, निडर काम गर्छ, जस्तो पनि समयलाई डेयरिङ का साथ फेस गर्न सक्छ, जेन्युइन छ उ, त्यसैले चोइसमा ICCC नै छ उसको.
Your trusted partner for studies in Canada, ICCC.